How can I make it up to you?
Do the show now?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And today was my last day of school, and Joe ruined it by being late.
And you're listening to Just Cool Enough, a place where people who look terrifying can be on the internet and get made fun of for it.
Like, now, like I said, like a couple shows back, you looked fine, except when you shave your head. Why did you do this time?
Because it was hot. The orange hair was too long. It was hot. And so apparently either I look like the bomber from the Colorado bombings or I look like a terrorist. Yeah. Pick your poison, dude. You can't have both ways.
You look like that dude who opened fire in Arizona and shot that senator. Like you look just like him. Except he's always smiling and has a black eye. In that
tell me, what flag do you like the best? Is there a certain
the one that's
flag?
red, blue, and has striped stars on it?
Oh.
All right, close enough. Close enough.
That answer's not gonna cut it.
I don't, Eric. I don't know about this new Ike guy.
I don't know. He seems just a lot more intense.
Really like
every time video cuts back to you, you're more intense. Like next time you'll be wearing a leather jacket, and then you'll be smoking, and
soon he'll be like the guy from Inspector Gadget, the mean.
No, yeah, I mean, fucking. See, now he's a Terminator.
Oh, jeez! Or is that Hellboy? I don't know.
No, he's a Terminator.
So, anyway, welcome to Just Cool Enough, the show.
What was it like to star alongside Ben Foster in Alpha Dog?
So, this week, reason for being late is I had to go out to dinner. So, was that a good excuse, guys?
No, that's your story? You're like, don't worry, I'm going to say it. I got dinner. You got anything else?
About a half hour ago, Joe, let's just say I had plenty of iced tea from the time I got home from school till the beginning of the show, and I was ready to go, and now I'm coming down off my iced tea.
Okay, well, drink up again, because
this is like I opened this delicious Diet Peach Snapple. Because
Just Cool Enough is not sponsored by Diet Peach.
I'm off soda. I stopped it. I'm off soda, guys.
Why'd you do that?
Again. Because, I mean, I'm at the age where I can't eat like I used to, obviously, and like I'm tired of like eating so much that I get really bad gas, and I've been able to but one of the ways I relieve that is through belching. But then I started to realize that it's not always just I've eaten a shitload and I'm counteracting all the gas. I just realized like I'm almost always constantly just like I can force myself to belch, but it's like I feel like
I was only cool in third grade.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just constantly needing to belch all the time, or like forcing myself, or even not forcing, like it's just coming up, and I realize I drink a shitload of soda. Maybe it's all that carbonated beverage I've been drinking. So I've kind of been off it for about 2 weeks now, and I haven't noticed like it hasn't been as bad.
Did you go through any withdrawals? Did you like hit somebody and yell and stuff? Because if you drink a lot of soda or pop, as they call it in the good old Midwest USA. Like you can get a chemical dependency on that thing, just like caffeine.
I'm sure there's been issues. Like I haven't been angry or depressed or anything. What I did notice is I've just like around 5-6 o'clock, I just get real tired and I want to take a nap, and I have to just like power through it for a few hours. But I think because I'm not constantly feeding my body with caffeine.
So you are going through withdrawals.
Yeah, but it's only soda caffeine. I'm not these crazy people who can't wake up without coffee or anything.
How bad were your burps, Eric? Were you just like in mid-conversation, just like, "Hey, my name's Eric," I'm bleh, and no, then I just bleh.
I just realized like I would do it like it wouldn't be bad like when I was in public, but it'd be like on the way to like an improv show, I'd just be belching all the way in the car right over because I wanted to get it over with.
Maybe you're a nervous belcher.
No, I'm not.
Like sometimes, I know there's actually a symptom that like if you get nervous, you gotta poop real bad. I know when I get nervous, my nervous twitch is I yawn. I'm like, yeah, like this doesn't even bother me. Like I'm trying to like play it off, but it's like a nervous twitch. No, maybe you're just a nervous belcher guy.
No, it's because it's only started happening the past 2 years.
But think of that. The last 2 years is the only time you've been going outside of your shell.
I've been doing that for like 3 years now. 4 years.
But now you could develop things. I think it has to do with social anxiety.
And it's not. It's definitely not that. I think it has to do with I'm 30 now, and I can't eat like I'm 20.
So, Ike, do you have a nervous tick, or have you changed your diet recently? Since that's what we're talking about at the start of the show.
I have done both of those things, or have both of those things. I have a nervous tick, but it's usually just my heart starts going really fast and I rock back and forth. Or when I'm talking in front of my class, I tend to move around a lot, like in a square, like not rocking back and forth, but I kind of like walk in small steps and kind of like I'm doing a square dance. And I have changed my diet recently, so that's how I lost my 10 pounds in 19 days.
10 pounds in 19 days? Is that even safe?
Probably not, but it's not like I've been starving myself. I just stopped eating crap, and then when I get full, I stopped eating rather than just continue to keep eating.
It is amazing how much just not eating so goddamn much does wonders for your diet. Like you realize, like, oh, I eat way more than I need to. Like
I like it. And then,
I'm not a 1930s farmhand. I don't have to eat a steak breakfast
with 4 eggs.
With 4 eggs, you know, I could have a small bowl of cereal and be perfectly fine for a few hours at least.
So I've been like the weird smoothie guy at work lately. Actually, I changed my diet probably about a month ago, and I'm about 20 pounds down now, and that's been great. But I guess this is gonna be like Fitness Pals, like.
So you're asking me if I lost 10 pounds in 19 days, if that's healthy. You said in a month you've lost 20 pounds?
Maybe a little bit more than a month. I'm not, do as I say, not as I do. I think Jesus said that.
See, I did what Eric did, but I replaced all of my soda with seltzer water. Like I used to hate the flavor of seltzer, like just straight seltzer water.
But once you get older,
for some reason, it's lost that flavor, like that odd taste. And I thought maybe it was just the seltzer water. So I made some. I gave it to my girlfriend, like because of the Soda Stream. And I was like, "Here, try this. Like I've been drinking this. Try this." And she tried it. She's like, "Oh, that's gross. Like what did you mix in?" I was like, "That's just straight water, straight out of the tap. Like I put it through the Brita and." It tastes like that. It tastes fine to me. I don't taste.
I feel like that's my next step because I remember a sketch coach telling me growing up means graduating from soda to just sparkling water and stuff. So I thought like maybe that's like the next step. I'm not a huge fan of it personally, but maybe I'll just get used to it. Like I got used to so many other things I used to not be a fan of that now I'm
Joe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like us,
especially Joe.
Like this show, like every Wednesday.
Yeah, like I keep trying to get out of this show, but everyone's so amenable to me doing this podcast. I'm like, guys, I have this thing Wednesday, but I don't have to go. I can quit at any time, like, and do the thing. And they're like, no, don't do it. Keep doing your thing. We'll work around your schedule. I'm like, God damn it. So,
why are people so goddamn nice?
Yeah.
I tried to convince Eric that we should have started the show at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, but then that required effort. That's the difference. Is it that would have required me to do things other than just show up.
So the reason I was late was because I had a German colleague in from out of town, and we finished late and it kind of screwed over the show. So like I said, guys, I'm sorry about that. But so I got to take a foreigner through and in and all around Detroit. And I took a couple of notes while this was happening. So,
he was stabbed to death, but you know, besides that.
Did you hear that remix, Ike?
I did.
That was really cool, Eric.
What?
So it was like,
you did the whole like Pepsi Max guy there.
It was like the robot out of Pee Wee's Playhouse. Like it was just like this is my sentence. But anyway, Pee Wee's Playhouse aside, yeah. So German guy. He said he's from a town of less than 180 people, and I'm like, where should I take a German native that's from a town from less than 180 people? Oh yeah, downtown Detroit on the night where there's the third biggest fireworks in the country. That's a good idea. So he got like the full experience, and I think he was having a really good time. We went up to the 20th story of a building. And the fireworks were like at chest level, just exploding, and you could feel like the blast waves coming by, and it was amazing, and it was great. But it got a little dicey when we started leaving, and I had to take him back through the part of town that's like the clubs and things like that. I don't think he was used to so many so much urban environment so quickly, because like there's like guys like hollering at girls and like girls like flicking people off and like horses that are also police and
Officer Horsington.
But yeah, so like that's we were walking by and there's a pile of horse shit on the ground and he's like, look at it, it's just like home. I'm like, oh, that's great. See, now we're family. But I was actually really excited. I'm like, all right, we're taking him through Detroit. He said he wanted to experience the city. We're gonna go through. We're gonna show him all this stuff. It ended up working out pretty good. So I think we got one. We got one good one out of. I was like, just Detroit, don't fucking let me down. All right, guys. I want the whole city to be good. I'm trying to show a German colleague a good time, and everything worked out really well. So.
You prostituted yourself out to your colleague.
I did. That's part of my job. Part of my job is to make sure people that are visiting are having a good time. It's basically on my job description. Good Time Joe, that's what they call me.
Well, you are the official party maestro of your. That's his actual job position is party maestro.
Yeah,
so.
They were gonna say MC, Master of Ceremonies, but party maestro was what I wanted on my business card.
PM.
Anyway.
So, random fact, because I know I was talking to Joe about the fact that I went to see Jurassic Park again this past weekend for Father's Day.
Which I can't believe you did. After we bagged on it so hard last episode.
I really enjoyed it. And it was even just as good the second time.
Yeah, but if we didn't enjoy it, you can't enjoy it. Stop liking things we don't like.
One of us.
Google.
Not really a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but there's a guy in a raptor pit who falls in a raptor pit.
Oh,
you know that, but you know that guy. He gets like roped in and falls in the raptor pit. Come to find out that kid is my principal's former student. Like he went to the school I teach at when he was young, in like 6th, 5th grade, and so she's like, yeah, I saw a picture of the first class she ever taught, and she's like, no, that's the kid right there in the middle. There's like 2 white kids in the class. He's one of them.
So wait. So like, I can't picture the kid. He's like a gumpy, weird-looking kid.
Yeah. She's like going down. She's like, what? Can you tell which one it is? And I'm like looking, and she's like, just remember, it's a very diverse class, so you should be able to nail it down. There's only 2 white kids in the picture, and so I picked out the one. And then she's like, yeah, that one like stabbed her mother in the head, and that one went to jail. And so apparently this kid was the one who made it out.
He made it to Hollywood.
Yeah, he went all the way.
So is he gonna have like a spin-off of the show now? Like, you got any details on the rest of his career?
I should find out.
Well, speaking from a guy who lives in Los Angeles, I can tell you right now, he's really excited. Things are going great for him, although he's probably gonna struggle to find work. He's probably, after finished filming, went back to his day job. To support himself, and we'll do that for a little while longer.
I think he falls in another raptor pit.
Yeah.
Ike, that's freaking me out, man. I'm already used to your baldness.
It came in my loot crate.
You got a Sarah Connor loot crate?
Well, it had some things. It had this head and a keychain that promises to double the weight of your keychain, but it's in the Terminator brain.
Oh, is that a metal White Walker? Because everything from loot crate must be Game of Thrones related.
I'm just gonna unbox my Game of Thrones deluxe mixed nuts. It's actually the best ones. My Game of Thrones matches.
It's a real obscure reference to the show. If you've read the book, then you know that at
this is not actually Sam Tarley's mixed nut.
At Lannisport in Castle Rock, they actually only serve mixed nuts. It's actually a really, really fun, interesting Easter egg.
So this Terminator brain keychain from the Genesis movie coming up, it promises it's like all solid metal, and it pretty much will double the weight of your keychain.
That is cool.
You can use it to bludgeon small midgets to death.
Oh God!
It's
not midgets.
In my opinion, will be a lot more entertaining than going to see Terminator Genesis, because that film looks garbage.
You don't want to see Daenerys play with.
I kind of did. Like, I was like, the first trailer came out, and I was like, maybe I'd give it a chance. It seems like kind of like they're rebooting it, kind of interesting. It's still set in the 80s. It's kind of a remake, sort of, kind of, and Arnold's in it. It could be, they got Khaleesi. It could be the second trailer is more of that. And you're like, ah, ah. And then like 30 seconds into the trailer, the guy, he's like, "Hi, I'm John Connor from the future. Also, I'm a robot, and I'm the main bad guy." And you're like, "Wait, what? That's fucking stupid." I'm not spoiling it because it's in the goddamn trailer because they spoiled the goddamn movie in the trailer, and that's a stupid plot twist.
But you don't know. You don't know. You didn't see it yet. Could be amazing.
He could be making it up, and he's actually the real good guy. He's not, in fact, a robot, just playing a robot.
He's the villain of the movie.
I think this movie is
a part human, part Terminator who goes back in time as well to kill his own mom or something. I don't fucking. It doesn't make any sense. Jai Courtney is like the opposite of Midas. Everything he touches turns to garbage. But I was gonna give Jai Courtney a chance, and I'm like, God damn it, Jai Courtney.
That's gonna be the Mulholland Drive of Terminator.
No, because Mulholland Drive at least had that really awesome scene where Naomi Watts has lesbian sex.
Don't spoil it. If anybody, it's
not a spoiler. If anything, it'll get people to flock to see Mulholland Drive because you get to see Naomi Watts experiment sexually with another woman.
All right, go watch it today. A new rule for me, if it has, this is a terrible generalization, sweeping rule, but Jurassic World currently has a 71% on the tomato meter, and I used to trust the tomato meter, right?
Yeah.
You guys trust the tomato meter on RottenTomatoes.com?
In a way. I mean, it's like anything. It's an aggregate of other people's opinions.
So everything's going to be like 75 to 80%.
No, because plenty of things like Paul Blart Mall Cop was like 2%. You know, it's a good aggregate of general consensus. Like Metacritic. Metacritic is not like you can like. I mean, the Metacritic on certain things are just like trusting one reviewer over another is different because there's some people, like some video game reviewers, I respect their opinions a lot, but then they'll come to one game in particular and I will disagree with. Like I know one guy in particular, I really like his reviews, but then he didn't like The Witcher 2 at all, and I love The Witcher 2.
And then it's really weird when you have like somebody that you listen to on a regular basis, and then they're totally off on something. You're like, but I liked you.
Yeah.
Why did you do this to me, man? You let me down.
People got different opinions.
That's weird. I don't like it. Anyway, you know how after I said that, I did the math here, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which is 70%, and Tomato Meter gives it 71, and now I don't trust the Tomato Meter.
I wouldn't trust your math skills.
Yeah, and also you're like, I don't trust the Tomato Meter because it gave it the exact same rating I gave it. Like I gave it like I was like 2 out of 5.
Yeah, you did a 2 out of 5, man.
I was just like, I didn't really like it that much. But that was fine. Like, and that's
40%. Do you really think it was 40% bad?
80% of the time, Joe was right. 70% of the time at how good
it's not about
works every time.
I don't even give a shit about like was it 40. It's like you can't do. It's the same with like fucking video games. You're like, oh, how can they give this? It's got this many pixels, so it's got to be at least a 7.2. Because the sound that it's if it's at least 13 hours in length, it gets another 5-point boost.
Yeah, okay, fine. I get it.
I didn't particularly like Jurassic World that much. Other people seem to fucking love it, and that's
what I don't get. I don't get why it's getting like it was fun.
It's a movie about dinosaurs. Like,
well, okay. For it. It was underwhelming. I don't know why you see it twice. Why don't you see Mad Max again? That's a good movie.
Well, and I went on Father's Day. I went because I was with my girlfriend's father. I didn't necessarily choose to go to the movie. He chose to go to the movie, and
why don't you go see the new Pixar one about feelings or whatever?
Because I've already seen that one.
How is that?
I enjoyed it. Good. Yeah.
You know what one I'm definitely not going to see? Ted 2. Because I suffered through Ted 1. And I watched it because I'm like, okay, people are talking about Thunder Buddies and stuff. I gotta understand. All right, I watched it. I'm like, I'm not seeing Ted 2. There's no way.
I wasn't a huge fan of Ted 2, but I also suffered through A Million Ways to Die in the West. I went to see that in the theaters, and I felt bad for my friend Chris because we were like, let's go see a movie. We haven't seen this. He's like, I've already seen it, and he was like, I don't know, maybe I don't really. He's like, yeah, we can go see it again. Like he was like, yeah, I don't mind. And then it turned out to be garbage. And I was like, why would you? If I had seen that already, I would have been vehemently, no, we're not going to see it again. Why would you sit through it twice?
Well, just remember, Joe, when you hear the sound of thunder, don't get too scared. Just grab your thunder buddy and say these magic words. Fuck you, thunder. You can suck my dick. You can't get me, thunder, because you're just God's farts.
God damn it.
That's all in. That was all in the trailer. I'm pretty sure you could find a Red Band trailer somewhere where you see that.
What, did you memorize that? Was that like tattooed on you somewhere?
Yeah,
no,
I tattooed
he's
it on
from
the back of my
Boston.
head.
He has to legally say that whenever he encounters a cop.
And thunder.
Yeah.
And thunder.
And I have to yell it when I encounter a cop when it's thundering.
Yeah, and especially don't even get him started when you encounter Thunder Cop, the cop of the storms.
So I went to sell my. I posted my BMW on Auto Trader, a popular auto buying and selling website, and I had some interesting people in the car. Or I had some interest in the car, met some interesting people. One person came to test drive the car, and his name was I don't remember what his name is, but I shouldn't say it. Anyway, so this guy.
Just give us his social security address and his gross income. Yeah, so, fucking don't say his name.
I'm not. Don't make a big deal out of it. You're fucking up the whole show here.
Can we restart?
All right, fine. Show's up.
Let's restart. I'm gonna have less energy each time.
Okay. So anyway, a guy jumps in the car, and after reading the ad, and the first thing he says is, "Bro, this car's got a lot of miles on it, bro." So he called me bro twice in one sentence, and then also commented on the higher mileage of my car, and I was like, he immediately rubbed me the wrong way, and I looked at him, I'm like, well, that's the mileage I had on the Auto Trader post, so I don't know what to say about that. And I just kind of looked at him, and it was just like this awkward silence. And
well,
I'm like,
it's like the idea of counting sex with people. Like when a girl tells you she's had sex with 3 guys, you're supposed to double it and add 10. When a guy tells you he's had sex with 3 people, you cut it in half and then subtract that. So clearly, when you told him the mileage, he cut it in half and then subtract half of that on top.
Yeah,
of it.
there's no way it has that kind of mileage on it. Well, it does, 96,000 miles. So he called me bro twice in like the first 5 seconds of me meeting him, and then he proceeded to complain about the car while he's driving it, and then he was like, actually, it has a lot of power, though. I'm like, all right. But I didn't realize that I was actually like offended by this. It was this weird thing. Like
it's called nagging. It's a lot of shitty men do it to get women. He was saying your car's not that great. It's got too many miles on it, so maybe we could take that price down. It was a negotiation tactic.
So that's like I know how to negotiate. I know what he was trying to do. I actually respected him a little bit because he was like trying to set it up and trying to do the deal. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. He's trying to make a deal, idiot. So, but I actually like felt offended by it. I know I shouldn't have, but like the things he was saying, I'm like, man, dude, just let's settle down a little bit. I like this car a lot. And then he called me out at the end. He's like, yeah, it seems like you got the price a little high. It seems like you have it like it's like an emotional thing. I'm like, well, it fucking is, dude. Anyway, so he made me this super like offensively low offer. I have it priced at $15,000, and he said, well, the dealers are gonna sell it for like $8,000, so I'll give you like $8,500 for the car. And I'm like, I looked at him, like, that's way too low. And we sat there and had like this awkward handshake, and then he dropped a bunch of papers on the ground. It was like every stage of a relationship, right down to the part where you're looking at somebody and like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, leave. And I don't know what to do now. I don't want to sell it. I feel bad. I feel like I'm letting one of my babies go.
Well, then do what any parent who has too many children does and give it to the church. No, give it to the church. No, because then you have to deal with the guilt. If you give it to the church, then it's in God's hands, and you're a good Christian.
Here you go, Father Tony.
No, the church. A lot of church groups do the donations of cars.
I'd be very sad.
See, we're in the process of trying to buy the building that our school is in from some nuns who ran a Christian school there beforehand. We've had the building appraised, and we came to the table and said, here's what we're offering, this is what it's worth. And they said, no, when you have a serious offer, come back and talk to us. And so I think that's the same thing that you're in. It's you have all the sentimental attachment to this car.
Shut up, really... Ike! Don't you talk about my sentimental attachment to this car.
I've had this car for 2 years.
Me and this car's been through so much together.
That time it wouldn't start. That time I thought about driving it, but drove another car. That time it spent 3 years in my garage.
So yeah, but it took him like actually saying that to me for me to be like, oh yeah, I kind of do have an emotional attachment to it. But yeah. I do, and I know I do have it.
Trying to negotiate you down.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you would have made an offer that was even a little bit closer, I probably would have moved on it. Like, I don't expect it to sell for 15 grand. I want somebody to talk me down and make me feel like I'm giving it to. I want to sell it to somebody I like. Do I have to sell it to, like, is it like equal opportunity sales? If I, like, there's some guy that's just like a real dirtbag.
Listen, you're a douchebag. You're not getting this. I'm sorry.
That's
to sweet talk you like a guy was trying, like a kid's trying to tell you that he wants to marry your daughter. They gotta sweet talk you into it to get your approval.
People don't understand. I don't think I fully understand.
It's
but
like
yes.
those, they used to do these shows. I don't know. They might still do them, but they Monster Garage or whatever with Jesse James, where he'd buy some dude's used car and then like turn it into some like weird shitty thing. And then like I remember one time like he bought a dude's car and he's like, hey, we're gonna gut it and do all this shit. Is you okay with that? And the guy was like, no. And it's like, well, too bad we already signed the paperwork. It's like, fuck, you know.
That's like, what's gonna happen.
He's like, well, I'm gonna take it and use it in a demolition derby. No, just drive it.
I would feel, you know what? As long as they're not a douche about it. If they're like, hey, we're so rich, 15 grand's like $200 to you, and they just take a shit on my lawn and drive away in the car, I would feel bad. But if it was like somebody that's like, I'm gonna cherish and love this car forever till death do us part, I'm like, all right, you can have the car for like 10, whatever.
That dude, if someone says that dude's definitely gonna fuck your car. I mean, I just want you to know that you could be okay with that, but that dude who says he's gonna cherish and love it forever till death do you part, that dude's fucking some cars. Like that dude has and will continue to fuck some cars, and he's looking to start fucking yours.
Jim, I'll buy the car back for $22,000. He's like, no, I'm in love.
He's like, no, I'm gonna get this car pregnant.
What kind of baby does a car and a man have?
Transformers.
Yeah, that's how Transformers are made. It's a deep cut on the Transformers lore, but Cybertron used to be a series of it used to be a normal planet, and then people moved there, and then they started fucking their cars, and then it became Cybertron, and then that's how the Transformers came. Optimus Prime is like he's that's why he's so powerful, because he's the most because a lot of Transformers are so far removed from their human parentage. Optimus Prime is actually only like 3 or 4 generations. He's still like an 8th human in him. Like a really, they can like take it back to the origin days of when people were sticking their dicks in cars.
So what is the Allspark then? Is that just a bunch of human seeds and eggs that they put in vehicles?
That's the first man to fuck a car. He fucked it to death, and then the car spirit and his merged into the Allspark. It's actually like really disgusting when you get into like the deep lore of Transformers.
The human spirit and a spark plug merged.
Yeah. He was actually while he was doing it, he was shoving spark plugs up his own rectum, and that's what ultimately led to his downfall. It's really disgusting.
Damn near killed him.
No, it did kill him. It did kill him.
That's why his soul is in the Allspark.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to watch Transformers 1 the same way. We should do a commentary on that. We should do a commentary on Godzilla. Man, I hope I have some time to do that someday. I miss commentaries. If you want to see some... We actually have some old movie commentaries if you dig through our archives.
Or you can just go to justcoolenough.com, click the shows thing, and or the podcast, and it's right there. It says movie commentaries. There's a third thing on the list. It's a nice list.
Whoa! Let's not make it too easy for them.
Okay. First, you gotta go to shoutengine.com, go to our RSS feed, and put it in an RSS feeder, and then scroll through.
Don't use your search functionality. That'll make it too easy for you.
We tag them all movie commentary on the site, but don't use them.
Yeah, don't do that. That was like the only thing we have ever tagged other than Just Cool Enough.
No, we had to tag at least all of the podcast because we used to host it. Yeah, the original like Transformers 1 is on there, but Transformers Age of Extinction's on there. It's
That's when the real sex happens. That's the real car human sex.
No, it kind of is, because that's the movie where they spend 5 minutes explaining it's okay this 23-year-old's fucking a 16-year-old girl because in Texas that's legal.
I think that was
they go out of their way to
that was
it.
important exposition that I needed to know about.
No, they could have just said, by the way, he's like, they're both teenagers. They're like, no, he's like 22, 23, race car driver from Australia. She's like 17, but in Texas this is legal because they used to fuck before he turned 18.
See, but you know what? Like that's just
the dude has in the movie. The dude has a laminated card with the law from Texas saying it's okay for him to fuck Mark Wahlberg's daughter.
And Mark Wahlberg, he's just fine with that.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm a fucking scientist in this movie. It's not a good Mark Wahlberg.
It was even better. It was actually really good because you roboted out again. That was great.
It kind of yeah. He was a robot in that movie, in case you were wondering.
That he was a robot the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't even remember, like, all the Transformers just mulled together. It's just
because there's no story to any of them. They have no point whatsoever.
But I have. You guys saw the Shia LaBeouf thing where he's like, just died.
Not really.
You just never.
I aggressively, whenever something becomes really popular on Facebook, like overnight, and everyone's posting it, I go, wow, probably something I don't need to know. So
well, you know what? Like, I saw it before it was cool, so whatever.
Yeah.
I saw it on Reddit when it only had 5,000 views. But seriously, though, Eric, Shia LaBeouf, he did a thing, and it was funny. You should watch it. And
that's okay.
All the remixes and stuff, it's good. Anyway, fine, whatever.
You shouldn't watch it. You should go watch Jurassic Park again before you watch Shia LaBeouf. That's how bad Shia LaBeouf is.
Yeah, that's true. Shia LaBeouf.
You're implying I don't watch Jurassic Park on a daily basis on Blu-ray.
The first Jurassic Park, fine, but I don't understand you if you watch the other ones. So I went to a thing called the Strawberry Festival in my town here in Michigan also this week, and there was a distinct lack of strawberries. I was like, why don't you just call this a fucking carnival? Because I went there, I was like, oh, the Strawberry Festival. There's going to be fucking strawberries all over the place. There's strawberry desserts and fresh strawberries and just fruits and lovely healthy things. It was in a big concrete parking lot, and they had the shittiest rides imaginable. They had like a guy dangling from some string and like a place where you had to fish piranhas out of a bucket. It was terrible. But yeah, there was one place that had any mention of strawberries, and it was like, here's a strawberry elephant ear snow cone. I was like, here's
bacon in the shape of a strawberry.
That's kind of what it was, and it wasn't even like real strawberries. It was just a bunch of like strawberry mix. They didn't even have daiquiris. But anyway, I did see something interesting there, and it had nothing to do with the strawberry. It was actually they called it a sugar. It was a sugar bear, also known as a sugar glider. You guys got to Google these things right now. If you're at a computer.
My friend in college had one as a pet. They're awesome.
Okay, hold on, because the guy was selling them like out of his pocket. They're a marsupial, and so they love like being in pockets. Am I right?
Yes, but I'm surprised he's selling them because they're like super like exotic and hard to like.
That's what I thought, right? Like I thought these little sugar gliders were exotic. Apparently, the guy had like a fucking truck full of these like illegal exotic creatures, and he just had them like all in his pockets. He's like, they're like coming out of his back pocket and stuff, and he's like, they're sugar bears. They're like pets for your pet. They're healthy. They help clean the pet. They're good for the environment. They're locally sourced. He's like making up all this stuff and all the people are like, I'll have a sugar bear. I'll have a sugar bear. I'm like, that is a sugar glider, and I'm pretty sure that's on the endangered species list.
No, it's not endangered species list. They're just super exotic and hard to get. Like,
he was selling them for like $10. Maybe these were just rats.
I bought like 400 of them.
But like,
it had a sugar glider armor. You could be like Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl, sugar glider guy.
Yeah, apparently they're sort of a rodent. They kind of look like squirrels, but they're from Australia and New Guinea and the surrounding islands.
The guy actually said, he's like, it's a pet for your pet. And I stopped after that and got lost in my own thoughts. I'm like, a pet for your pet? I'm like, I need that. My cat.
According to Wikipedia, which could have been edited by this man after he sold it, sugar gliders are highly social animals. So they live in colonies. So.
That's the sugar glider lobbying group to editing their Wikipedia. So the
big glider is what we call them.
Big glider. I hate those damn big glider companies. It actually looked really cool though, and even though the guy was really overselling it, I still kind of want one a lot. So, Ike, you have firsthand experience with sugar gliders. Can you tell me all about it? I'm going to sit and listen quietly.
No, it was one of my roommates. No, one of my suite mates back in college had one, even though we weren't supposed to have pets. And it was really tiny. It was about like this big. And it was really cute because it did remind me of like somewhere between a cross between a flying squirrel and a chipmunk. And he just said you have to watch out because they can climb up like walls, or he had his would climb up the side of his wooden whatever it was that he closet, and then it would jump off and sail across the room. So you have to have plenty of space to let it fly around too.
Oh man, I would love to have a sugar glider. I have a 2-story house that has a big opening. I would just love to see it like fly around and like jump on the back of the cat and just like ride the cat around. That's what I want. I also want to give it a cowboy hat. I hope it doesn't affect the aerodynamics of this sugar glider.
You fuck it all up. It's like, just slams into a wall. Brain damage.
I would keep like 10 of them on hand at any one time and drop them like army guys off of my banister. All right, get the cat. The cat's the AT-AT, and you guys are rebel troops. Go! Then, like throw them down at the cat.
Terribly bad idea.
This is what would happen if I was 5 and I had a sugar glider. I'm only barely holding on right now, not doing that.
Yeah. And doesn't that say a lot about you?
Well, personally? I mean, isn't that unreasonable, though? How far are you away from making a decision like that?
Well, one,
I'm not talking animal abuse. I'm just, a little fun.
I mean, I like animals a lot, and I don't like to torment them, so I would say I'm pretty far from that.
That's not tormenting them. You're putting them in their natural habitat, which is gliding down from a tree.
It's their natural habitat, screaming as they're thrown from a banister of a 2-story.
I'm not gonna throw them.
I would predator.
I wouldn't actually throw. I mean, like, I want them to glide. That's the fun of it.
Now, if he didn't glide, I would. Oh, it was a fucking.
Well, that one's dumb anyway. If it just hits the ground, it doesn't deserve to be called
natural selection.
Oh god!
It actually turns around. Joe hasn't been like tossed them off. He's been throwing them down at the ground.
No, they're so cute. That's terrible. If it was ugly, that's a different story.
Or if it bit you.
If it bit me, do they bite?
The
guy said that
it's an animal.
I guess that's true, right?
I mean, like, the cats bite, my rabbit bites. I don't understand why.
I drank the Kool-Aid on this thing. The guy was like, they don't bite, they don't even shit. They're just cute all the time. There's nothing wrong with this pet at all. It's impossible to hate.
We sold their mouths and anuses shut, so you don't have to worry about them eating or shitting all over your house. They just fly around and are cute. It was such
a good sales pitch. I felt like they were like too good to be true. If you got water on them after 12,
yeah,
you make it sound like
feed them after midnight.
Yeah, you make it sound like the people that try to sell the hermit crabs. Like, yeah, these make great pets. We have a ton of them. Buy one.
I just want to know how this dude got a bunch of exotic pets into the middle of this small town in a cherry festival or a strawberry festival that had zero strawberries. Like, it wasn't even part. It was just a random thing. There was it was in between two other things where they're selling used Legos, and the sugar glider. That was something cute is in the area. My girl Sarah was right next to me, and I just hear this high pitched squee that people with high pitched voices tend to do. I don't want to say women because I don't want to be sexist, but yeah. So I heard this high-pitched squeak. I'm like, she just saw something cute. I'm about to spend 15 minutes of my life looking at something furry and dumb. And I go look over. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Let's get a pet for our pet. So that was the most interesting thing that happened.
Best worst idea ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
have you guys ever wanted exotic pets for any like? Did you
I
ever
mean, when
want
I
like
was
a boa
younger,
constrictor or something?
I always wanted. I kind of wanted a hermit crab for a while because they seem like pretty.
Hermit crab?
Yeah, because they seem cool, and they're pretty chill. You don't have to do a lot for them. I did. I remember made my parents get me a little lizard, which did not survive very long. I've
What
had
did you do to it?
nothing. I think it didn't like eating, and my cat kept getting into my room and knocking its terrarium over and shit, which I think just didn't help the situation at all. So I've had pet, but I just when I was younger I was like, yay, pets, 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 because I didn't ever have to take care of them. I had 2 pet turtles, technically 3 because Top had died and my mom replaced him and never told me until years later. But yeah, I'm not. I realized that as much as I like cats and dogs, I don't like taking care of them. So I like other people's animals way more. I'm at that stage where I can just be content that if I were living on my own, I wouldn't have a cat or a dog because I know I wouldn't want to take care of it.
I feel that way about pets and also children. I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. I'll like get them all riled up and then just leave, and I'm like, not my kid, not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, you can
But
be like you're like fun stepdad of all these animals because you like go, oh, aren't you great? Aren't you great, great, great? Okay, bye.
bye. So this is a hermit crab. Eh? I had to click through and look at that. Looks like shrimp.
It kind of is, but what's cool about them is they use shells, but it's found shells, so you can get like cool looking shells,
People like paint custom shells.
yeah, and stuff, and they're pretty
Oh
chill
my God.
dudes. They just kind of hang out in the sand and eat and stuff, and they
Pretty
know.
sure they have really, really short lifespans.
yeah. So it's not the worst
You
thing.
get one now, and your mom keeps replacing it for you. You're like, Top Hat too. He was so cool. Top Hat.
But I wonder if hermit crab lifespans are kind of like rabbit lifespans. Like a lot of people think, especially around like Easter, it's like, oh, we're gonna get somebody a rabbit. They're like little hamsters. You know, you feed them and like they live for like 2 years and then they die, whatever. No, rabbit lifespans are like 12 years.
Yeah.
But people
Well,
don't know how to take care of them, so I'm wondering if hermit crabs are the same way. They're like, here's a hermit crab, it lives for like 2 weeks and dies, but if you really actually took care of your hermit crab, it would outlive you, but nobody ever fucking bothers to
it's
do
like
that.
blackfish, where they're like, no, whales only ever live 25 years. In fact, they live longer in captivity than they do. Ignore all those things that say they live to like 50, 60 in the wild. That's bullshit. 25. That's how long whales live.
We're
And it's
SeaWorld, we know
It's
what we're
totally
talking
okay for their dorsal fin to kind of flop over. That just
You
means
know,
they're like
we
the
don't know
cool
why,
dude.
but it's definitely not related to them being in captivity.
Yeah, they're just the cool
Sure of
dudes.
that.
Yeah. No, and their aggression, that's not a big deal either. They're all
Yeah.
mean. Don't you know all orcas are dicks?
Yeah, we call them killer whales for a reason. That's
Yeah.
why we have to give them Prozac. It's certainly not because we keep them in these relatively minuscule tanks for their size all day, all night.
Hey, it could be worse. They could trap them in a cove and then spear them to death.
Yeah.
How about that for some light at the end of the tunnel? It's like, oh yeah, you remember that one documentary
Hey,
that you
they
read?
don't spear them all to death. They also capture the babies and then sell them to SeaWorld so that we can watch them do tricks.
Oh yeah, yeah. What's the difference between that and like a horse show?
Horses get to go outside.
I don't like. That's kind of what I was.
Horses
thinking.
have been domesticated for so long, they don't know what it's like to be free range.
See, so we just got to keep at it. Like we're
Yeah.
we're despicable humans. We just need to make sure that the animals don't remember themselves being animals.
Yeah.
What's that gonna take? That's gonna take like 300 years.
We've
got this.
convinced ourselves that horses love us putting saddles on them and riding them around. Like we've convinced ourselves that that's what their thing is. Like they love that. They love serving us.
Yeah, like that's what horses love. Say, what about dogs too? Like
I mean,
so,
sure, you have to put a saddle on them and ride them until they give up all hope that you'll ever get off. You know, you have to break them, but they love it.
they'll love it. Well, no, what about dogs?
They sit there and tie a bunch of ropes to them, and then sit a fat old man on there, and then smack them with a stick until they give up all hope that they'll ever have any control of their lives. But they love it.
What about dogs too? Because we've bred dogs so bad that like they can't live without us now. Like that's
Yeah.
we essentially broken like 700
That's
different
what
breeds of
PETA's
dogs.
whole thing. That's why PETA kills cats and dogs. They adopt them and then euthanize them because they know that cats and dogs are now at the point where they cannot survive without humans. So they believe we should euthanize all cats and dogs.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
joking? I don't know about
No,
you.
that's a very real thing. That's one of the main reasons why I can't support them is because they believe that we have to euthanize all cats and dogs because they don't believe people should keep animals as pets and cats and dogs cannot survive without us.
Wow, I did not realize it was like that. I mean, I never really
It's
looked
not
into it, but
because they
still.
don't advertise that because people love cats and dogs. They're not going to go, "Hi, we're PETA. Please stop torturing animals for food. Also, kill your dog."
I I mean,
Take your
it's,
child's hamster and take it to the vet and get it euthanized.
what about sugar? What about sugar gliders? Can they survive without humans?
They might be able to. I don't know.
I don't know.
Alright.
I've seen plenty of apocalyptic movies where the dogs are all running around doing just fine on their own.
Yeah.
I think it only takes like one generation for the dogs to be like, oh yeah, we're badass animals.
But
That
you never see any cats
fighting
in the
cat.
apocalyptic movies. They're
That's
never
just
like
they're all
cats that,
nappy.
like, fuck you and like wander away or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all
busy.
dead.
Because dogs get together in packs and then they start hunting and stuff, and those instincts come back to them. But cats, I don't know, it's weird. Like cats haven't been domesticated as long, but for some reason, cats really just can't survive on their own. I don't know why dogs are better equipped. Not all dogs. I mean, big hunting dogs, yeah, they can survive, but like a fucking Chihuahua is never gonna make it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that breed would die out pretty quick in like 3 generations.
But
Like
in
if
real
all the
life-
humans came down with some like somebody like actually did Plague Inc. and like the whole world dies, okay? And it's just dogs. What dog breed's gonna survive and what one's gonna
Wolf.
die first?
Wolves will survive.
I think it's gonna be the Chihuahua.
Wolf?
They're
The Chihuahua?
unassuming, and people aren't gonna, the other dogs are not gonna mess with them because, like, well, fuck it, they're not even worth it anyway.
I'm
They're
being
gonna eat
honest.
them.
I think it's gonna be Pomeranians because my Pomeranian was vicious as fuck. Like.
That's the thing. You underestimate the small dog syndrome. It's like that's the same thing in humans too. That's like the guy that wanted to buy my car. He was this little short guy who was a bodybuilder that had a spray tan and called me bro. And
Bro.
I feel like he would survive the end of the world. I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there.
But we've started the 6th world mass extinction event, right? That's
What does
come
that
across
mean?
My Facebook feed recently under multiple titles from different websites.
Well, there have been 5 distinct mass extinction events on the planet.
Was the
where-
bubonic plague considered one?
No,
No.
not nearly enough people died. But we're talking like beyond just one species, like all animal kind. This is, and someone somewhere wrote an article saying that this is the 6th one or some shit.
And the humans are directly responsible for it.
Well, we kind of take credit for all the good and bad stuff.
But
So.
there are just so many animals. Like I can't memorize all the animals, so maybe there should just be less.
Well, they had
animals.
this graph of like things that are like animals that die, and then it like spiked right around the 1600s, and humans like, you know what? Let's
I'm
just
pretty
kill them
sure-
all.
I've seen this graph and stuff for a while. Humans are bad. We know this. Can we just get over it?
Well, in my opinion, to be honest, I figure I'm 32 almost. I probably lived maybe 100, let's say, on a good day.
On a
Fuck
good
it.
on a good day, you'll live to
I will,
100 in one day.
I'll live to
No,
100.
no,
So,
no.
I'm not going to see the end of the world, so fuck it. Let's kill them all now. I'm hungry.
That's
And that's sort of the problem. Like people have been thinking like that for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the
Every
ocean's
generation.
too big. We can just dump trash in it. The ocean will never get dirty. It's the ocean.
that's because humans have a really hard time about thinking about planning for the long term. And
Well,
there's
we
been so many
don't know how to
studies done.
perceive time beyond our limited lifespan.
Well, yeah, and then also there's so many studies done about how often a human brain will pick the least logical or the less logical option for like getting a quicker payoff, even though if they waited 2 weeks they can get $100, they'll just take the $50 now and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
And-
like that whole thing with the lottery. Like you could win the lottery and get one lump sum or the monthly payments, and a lot of people like to go with the one lump sum because then they have all this money, and and then you don't have to work. So it's like I would think more people tend to go with the giant lump sum rather than the sort of monthly or yearly payment system for lottery winnings.
I don't know.
It
The
really
lottery's
depends on how old you are, though. The older people should always go with the lump sum.
well, and then also if you think like, I'll take the lump sum and then I'll be able to invest some of this money and beat out inflation and play the market right. Maybe you want to start a business or try to do something. I've seen that.
I was going to use a small amount of money if I wanted to buy a Dodge Diplomat from this douchebag I know.
Yeah.
It's not for sale to you.
I mean, I called him bro and everything, and then he was like, "No,
I
he
had to
wouldn't
say
even
it
deal."
twice, but he wouldn't even deal.
I've been Facebook stalking all the people that want to buy my cars and selectively.
We Facebook stalk different kinds of people, I guess. Like we have very different.
I haven't. No,
ideas.
it was weird. I was like, and not only Facebook, but like LinkedIn stalking too, or just like any social network, because they send you the information like this person's interested in buying your car, and I look at it and I'm like, no, not this guy. No, I don't. He seems like a doucher. I just want somebody cool to have the car.
All right, bro.
Bro,
I just want a dog and a leather jacket and a skateboard to buy my car.
If
Is that so hard?
I know. Basically, I want somebody. If I went to come buy my car, I would think I was a douche. So I need somebody who's a little bit different than me, but similar.
Why?
A little less douchier.
Yeah, somebody douchier.
Super cool, like super cool hipster people come buy my shitty Dodge Diplomat. Like, why won't? Where's the tech billionaires?
I want. Yeah.
Where's Steve Jobs right now that he can't come and buy my Dodge Diplomat?
The Diplomat is so fully depreciated. I've thought about doing like a demolition derby with it, or just like really sending it out like Viking funeral style, something crazy.
So you're gonna send it out like you're gonna half-ass it, or true Viking funeral, where you leave a comely maiden on there to burn with it, so that he has it in the afterlife.
I mean, it depends. If never mind, no.
The wife,
Joe's gonna light it on fire and then throw sugar gliders at it.
Yeah. No, in this case, being a car, you'd have to get a racing driver to burn with it, just so he would have someone to drive it in the afterlife.
Lewis Hamilton tied to the hood of a Diplomat.
Yeah.
As he turns into the guy from the comics, there was the Ghost Rider. He just lights on fire and his skull catches on fire. And he drives
I'm the one who has to shoot the flaming arrow of sugar gliders at the car.
Yeah, you light a sugar glider on fire, throw it at him from your banister. Still,
the crazy part is the race car driver is wearing a flame retardant suit, so he's gonna survive.
Well, no, because the point of those is to let you survive the 2 minutes it takes them to pull you out of the flaming car, and no longer. It's not like I'm in it's not like
you're right. I can guarantee that car from 1978 is full of asbestos and mesothelioma and a bunch of combustible materials that will go up for dead sugar gliders.
Mesothelioma is a type of cancer, not a substance. Like, is it actually filled with cancer, like cancer cells?
Yes,
it's grown its own
cancer? The guy would have survived, but it turns out he's horribly allergic to sugar gliders, and that's what does him in.
Yeah, it's the dandruff. It's his pet dandruff. So he goes into anaphylactic shock or
Oh my god! I need an EpiPen, please. I tried to shoot an EpiPen through a.
I just gotta put another sugar glider and attach his EpiPen to it to deliver it.
Stick the sugar glider with the EpiPen, and
it actually works. But the heat of the fire is so much it boils the liquid when it enters his veins and kills him that much more painfully.
No, if you inject a sugar glider with EpiPen, you're basically giving it a superpower.
Yeah.
Think of the name of this thing.
No, the sugar gliders all survive.
Just explode.
Yeah, and for some reason the sugar gliders, each one of them survives unscathed. It's a modern miracle of science. We don't understand it, but it's just the way it is. The racing driver died horribly. The car just has some smoke damage, so it's still pretty good.
It turns out Joe has to go into the fire and gets him and walks out unscathed as well, and he becomes the mother of sugar gliders.
Yeah.
All his clothes are burned off, yeah.
Yeah,
I have to ride him out.
Sugar gliders draped around yourself.
But then I was did in by one of my council people, and then I was surrounded. But then I rode a sugar glider away.
Yeah, and one of the sugar gliders shows up and rides you off and saves your life.
feel like he would just crush it. He was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, carry me away.
No!
Hops on it and just crushes it. Just dead.
I name it Shrogon or something.
Yeah.
Sugar? I don't know. It's something to do with Zucron? Sugar?
God, you're terrible today. Can we start over? Hello,
Oh, God,
Internet.
yeah.
I'm Joe. Less energy. Less energy, though.
Okay, all right. Bringing it down a notch. Hello, Internet. Wah,
Hey,
wah.
Internet.
Hey, so we did Are you gonna plug the thing that we did this week? Anybody?
Oh, yeah. Probably right about now when we stop talking about all this bullshit like sugar gliders and start plugging each other.
Oh yeah.
My plug for this week, it's a nice short on YouTube. It's about, 14 minutes. It's pretty fucking awesome. It's called Girl Scouts, with 2 R's, GRRL Scouts. And it's just really fun. It's kind of like a 90s throwback thing. It kind of reminds me a lot of Scott Pilgrim. It's about these 3 girls who sell drugs, and it goes to fucking crazy town real quick, and it's fun, and it's really just an awesome short film that's got a lot of character to it, and I think you guys would enjoy it. You can check it out in the show notes of this show.
So wait, am I plugging the thing?
Yeah, if you want. I picked
no,
my plug.
I don't want to plug the thing because I was gonna plug ShoutEngine.
We'll get to it. We'll get to the plug. Somebody will plug it. Don't worry.
You're only allowed to plug one thing a week. You can't blow it on something else, Joe.
I do that. I plug multiple things.
I know. No, shh, he won't notice.
How many holes can we?
It's not like this is our show and we can plug anything in.
The rules are set in stone from the elders. We can only plug once per week.
You shall only plug one thing, or be plugged if you shall plug more than one thing.
I shall pluggeth one thing today. Oh no, maybe a couple more. I was gonna say, guys, if you want to get a podcast going, you can too. Just like us, using ShoutEngine.com. ShoutEngine.com. Search your own podcast in under 5 minutes for free.
I podcast, and so can you.
Yeah. If we can make this damn show, you can make a show too. And also, review us on iTunes. If you give us a review on iTunes, we will gladly read it out on the show. And also, it helps us rank up so more people can find the show. So if you're in iTunes or really any podcast services you're on, you can give us a review. That'd be super helpful.
So what you're saying is the guy that works for ShoutEngine can't get us high enough on the board on his own, so we have to plug it to get other people to bring us up?
Well, no, there's no ranking on ShoutEngine. We just host.
Oh.
I mean, I could, but I don't know if there's a lot of shows that do a lot better than us. That'd be like, what the fuck is this just cool enough show doing?
I don't know any of the other shows on ShoutEngine, but I guarantee you there's a lot of shows that do a lot better than us.
You're correct. We do millions of downloads every month.
What else is it you're going to plug, Joe?
I'm not going to plug anything else. You're going to plug something.
I think I was dead at the time because I had no idea what it is that you think I think we should plug. Because
oh my gosh,
it has anything to do with last Wednesday.
Do you remember a long time ago when we played with Brian?
Oh my god, this is so hilarious. This bit, keep it going.
It's not even a bit. I'm just trying to explain. Like, hey, Ike, remember when we played Heroes of the Storm?
I do, and I do. I thought that just went up on the site and people naturally knew about it. I didn't realize that we actually had to plug it.
That's the plug. People don't go to the site unless we tell them.
Unless you have anything else to plug, Ike, feel free. It's your time.
This is our time.
Well, we were thinking about playing Heroes of the Storm.
Time.
We were thinking about playing, our video game every month. So last week we had Brian join us, and I think I might be able to get.
It was actually 2 weeks ago. It was the video from 2 weeks ago.
I forgot. I might have 2 other people join us tonight, and hilarity will ensue, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then last week's video goes up this Friday. But for those of you who don't fucking know, because these guys talked about it for 5 minutes and never said it, we've been playing Heroes of the Storm and recording it, and then I've been editing it to make it actually palatable and slightly entertaining. And we're throwing those up on the YouTube channel. If you're watching this already, you're probably already on the YouTube channel, so check that out. Or you can go to justcoolenough.com and find the link there to our first gameplay video of Heroes of the Storm.
Also, we have a big announcement that we're going to be talking about right now. This has been in the works for a little bit. We're going to actually be...
We're firing Joe.
Yeah. I'm actually fired. I'm resigning right now. Goodbye.
No, we told you.
When the show starts doing better, you need to leave the show.
No, the better the show is, the more you have to stay. Or the more we have to, we get to leave as soon as we drive the listeners away, which we've been trying to do for so long.
I don't understand why they keep coming back. If you want to send us an email, you can. Our email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Maybe you'd like to make a comment on the fact that we're going to be part of a awesome live network that's going to give us a live IRC chat channel, just like we used to have so long ago on WCRadio.com. Also, it is called Alpha Geek Radio. Go check it out. They have a bunch of great live shows. This is the same network that hosts great shows like Daily Tech News with Tom Merritt, and there's this one called, I think, Co-Optional or something like that. It's with this guy, Total Biscuit, and then there's this other one with this Terpster dude. I don't remember. But they all
sound
seem
like a bunch of nobodies to me.
Yeah, a bunch of nobodies, basically. Anyway, it's brought to you by Gnomewise, a.k.a. Todd, and Todd has put together a great live streaming network that's going to let Just Cool Enough be available for streaming on all kinds of different devices, including the Xbox One and Roku boxes.
Basically, if you ever watched us back in our WoW Radio days and ever thought, wow, these guys seem to have this whole live streaming thing together, and it's all very competent, Todd's the reason for that.
So yeah, we're coming back. We're crawling back to Todd.
We apologize for all of our just
misgivings,
the shame we've brought upon him and anything he's ever been involved with. And he is in his kindness of his heart has found a way to forgive us and let us back into his good graces.
So we finally get we were banished, essentially. They're like, we banished you to 5 years alone together.
No, it was mostly like we've been doing this long enough. We could do it on our own, and it turns out we couldn't. It turns out we cannot. We gave it the good college try, modern college, where people do 5 years instead of 4.
Right, that was the good college try. Anyway, if you go to justcoolenough.com/live, that's going to be the page set up where you can watch it live every. What day is it? Well, every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern is when the show's going to be going live. So we're going to actually move it a half hour forward, and that's going to be kind of the only change for the people that are watching it live now. But the other big change is going to be you're going to be able to have a live chat room. We're not going to have to operate through the YouTube channel anymore. So it's really going to open up the live experience, and I hope to get a little bit more user and listener interaction going too. So we'll see what happens, but it's just really exciting. So cool, guys, awesome work. We finally came crawling back.
Speak for yourself.
That was the big, yeah. You agreed to it. I'm like, guys, is it okay if we do this? And you guys were like, yeah.
No, I believe my first question was, does this mean I have to do anything? And you're like, no, this does not affect anything you'll ever have to do. And I was like, then yeah, I don't give a shit then.
And then immediately I was like, actually, can you give me this new image? And also, I have to move the show back 30 minutes so we can fit in a time slot again. And you're like, fuck.
I know I said you don't have to do anything, but now the show's half an hour earlier, and I need you to Photoshop some shit for me.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for sticking with this bullshit and listening through to the end, or skipping to this point in the conversation and going, God, they still talking? But until next week, have a wonderful weekend. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Duncor, DUNCOR.
You could follow Just Cool Enough on Facebook, facebook.com/justcoolenough.
And you can, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, then. Thanks, Ike, for your
And on that resounding failure.
Decrepit note.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you all. Have a happy 4th of July weekend.
Wait, that's this happening?
It's next. Is it? No, it's yeah. It's
oh
next,
God, dude!
It's next week.
I'm not going to be on the show next week.
You cock blocking.
No,
it's the 1st. The 1st is next week.
Yeah. I'm not going
to be on the 1st.
The 1st, yeah. I'm going to be in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I will not be here.
You know what, Joe? Fuck off.
Why are you gonna be so mean to me? It's me to
You're gonna be in Germany again or something?
Oh, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that bastion of culture and what the fuck?
Oh man, if you thought there was a bright center of the universe, Harrisburg, blah blah blah.
Hey, guess what? We joined a new radio station. By the way, I won't be here.
We're not starting that till the 7th. I should have mentioned that.
Well, you're probably gonna show up and be like, "We're not doing that either," because the 7th is a Tuesday.
Is it?
Yeah, try the 8th.
I meant the 8th.
Stop broadcasting.
Okay.